Hi, I'm Neil from Board Game Happy, and thank you very much for joining me today for a quick review of Crumbs, the sandwich filler game. A couple of quick provisos before we get going today. I need to let you know that I am friends with both the developer, that's John, and the publisher, Minerva Tabletop, that's Scott. I'm also friends with him as well. A couple more quick provisos. I was involved in some of the earlier playtesting of this game, looking over some of the rules as well with the developer. And I also helped demonstrate this game at UK Games Expo 2023. You may or may have not seen me there. I was very enthusiastically demonstrating this game. So you may be asking, why would this review be an honest and unbiased review? I can give you one simple answer to that. I have played this game over 50 times, and I do not play anything more than a couple of times if I don't like it. So at 50, I guess you can have a really good idea as to how the conclusion of this review will go. If you're still not sure, let me take you down to the table, show you very briefly, just a very brief overview of the solo mode and the cooperative mode, and then I'll bring you back up to the table. I will give you my final thoughts. Okay, so this is Crumbs, the sandwich filler game, set up for a solo game. So what we have here is we have our ingredients, which are on our counter. We have our bread all stacked up. We've randomly chosen 2 customers and we flip them over. So we've got 2 different ingredients being randomly chosen, and these are going to be the customers that we're going to try and fulfill their orders. Look at the artwork, it's so good. So you don't get to see what's underneath at the moment. We'll deal with that in a little while, but these are the Tom and Pavel, and they require these 3 different types of sandwiches. We have over here some counters. So these are used to count your turns. You have 5 actions per turn. If you don't complete a sandwich within those 5 actions, you fail the game. We also have some lovely little bread pieces. Once again, I will just point out this is all pre-release, just review copy stuff. So final production copy could be and probably will be slightly different. So what we have here is the bread, which we use to cover over the sandwiches when we have completed different ones, so just to keep track of it. So that's what the tokens are for. That's just I find that the more you play the game, the less likely you are to need these. You just count out 1 through to 5, but these are somewhat essential. So we have all of our list of ingredients here. So this is known as the prep area. We have a pantry here which is currently empty, but this is where our used up ingredients go. So we have 5 actions, and I will briefly go through what each action is, and then I will show you a couple of example goes. So your first action could be to take all of 1 ingredient. This is called assemble. You take all of 1 ingredient, or as many of 1 ingredient as you like, and start making some sandwiches. Your next action would be you can restock. That's to bring items back from the pantry back to this area here. The next action is to toast. You can toast bread. So this is normal piece of bread. You can toast bread by flipping it over. When you look at a sandwich, it's very important to keep in mind that the bottom slice of bread doesn't matter what it is unless it is toasted. So, for example, this one here, which shows a white piece of bread, you could just use a brown one if you wish to do so, if that's more convenient for you. But the top part of the bread must always follow the rules, and if the bottom part of the bread is toasted like a club sandwich, that must also follow the rules. Okay, so let's try and complete some sandwiches within 5 actions. So what we're going to do first of all is, like I say, assembly. You can take all of 1 ingredient. I'm going to be brave, crazy or brave. I'm going to start 3 different sandwiches in my prep area. So as you can see here, probably I'm starting both of this gentleman's sandwiches and this one here as well. So that's 1 action. So we'll take one of our timers, move it to one side, and we've now had 1 action. Now you'll notice that both of these sandwiches require the tomato cucumber combination. So what we will do is our next action, it's just 1 action. Remember to take as many of 1 ingredient as you like. We will take this lovely, gorgeous looking ingredient and we will add it to both these sandwiches. That is a second action. Next, we will take this salmon and we will add it to this sandwich. That is 3 actions. Now, I could finish this top sandwich here, because all I need to do is place a piece of bread on it. So let's just do that as an example. So I've used my fourth action. I've completed this sandwich here for this person. So what we do is we cover over this sandwich. We move all of these ingredients to the pantry. So these are out of the game, if you like. Then whenever you complete a sandwich, first of all, you reset your actions. So I've now got 5 actions again. And then for free, you're allowed to bring 1 ingredient back to your counter. So I'm going to bring back my bread to the counter. These are still in my pantry, these two, so I cannot currently use them without doing the restock action. So that would take me 1 whole action to bring them back. So you keep on doing this, completing sandwiches. Once you get to, once you've finished this player's sandwich here, so you've only got 1 sandwich left on this side, we can have a look at the next customer. It's Scott and Poppy. And you can start to work on the leftmost customer from this one. Once you complete all of the sandwiches on this ingredient card, flip it over, swap it out with the other of the same ingredient and place it underneath the current one that you're working on. In a solo mode, once you complete all 3 ingredient cards, you then total up your score, which will be the combination of the scores that you've used in the top right hand corner. So this would be 7 points, and that's the end of the game. Most likely, I don't know if you noticed this, that's a pretty tough couple of orders to complete, including this one from Alex. That's almighty sandwich. I actually quite fancy that. So that's probably where you're going to find yourself tripping up. And this is where the game catches you out, because you get a nice ingredient card like that. Oh, look, I can do those 2 sandwiches fairly simply enough. I can work on 2 at the same time. But all of a sudden, you're going to come against the sandwich, which requires 2 ingredients. But unfortunately, one of the ingredients could be the customer card. And you're going to only have 1 avocado to work from in the pantry, back on the counter, being made in a sandwich. And that's where this game is going to catch you out. So I'll quickly show you how the co-op game is very slightly different. Okay, so this is the game setup for cooperative mode. Each player has only 3 ingredients now on their counter, and you cannot take ingredients from your partner's counter. However, you are able to pass ingredients, which I'll briefly show you in a minute. Within the 5 actions, both players must have completed at least 1 sandwich for their customers. The bread is a shared ingredient, thank goodness. But everything else is stuck here. Now, you have 5 actions and you play simultaneously. Your actions don't have to be the same. But let me show you what you can do. If I was taking this ingredient and adding it in using the assembly action, I could place 1 in front of me, and then I could place the other one on the counter of my partner. This is the way in which you are passing ingredients between each other. So you really need to keep an eye and communicate about what you need. When you complete a sandwich in the cooperative mode, not only do you get to bring back 1 of the ingredients for free as a restock action, you can also bring the bread back as well. So that's very briefly how the cooperative game works. It's essentially the same. You're still trying to complete your customers' sandwiches, and when you do complete the sandwich, you swap out that one for the other one. Look, that's a bit of a tough one there. And you still, the aim of the game is to have completed 2 customer cards each. The co-op definitely adds an extra layer of difficulty. I really enjoy it. So that's very briefly how you play the game. I'll take you back up top and let you know my final thoughts. Okay, so I hope those playthroughs showed you a brief idea as to how the game plays. And I'm just going to quickly talk about a couple of the things that I absolutely love about this game. First of all, I mean, obviously this is a pre-release copy, but you will see that this is just big enough for a lovely deck of cards and some of the components. This is a fantastic micro 18 card game that I have been playing pretty much everywhere where I've got a spare 5 or 10 minutes. I've played this on the train, I've played this in waiting rooms, I've played this in a restaurant whilst waiting for food to come. Obviously I played this at UK Games Expo a lot. I have taught this to friends and family, people who aren't so much into games or people who are really into games, and everyone I've taught it to has said a couple of things. They've said, first of all, wow, this is a very clever design. Secondly, oh my gosh, look at that artwork. Absolutely fantastic. So I really love this game. and I highly recommend that you look at the Kickstarter, which is launching early August. You need to really take into consideration a couple of things. Like I said, I have been involved in this game for over a year, just very much on the peripheral, but still involved in the game. So I wouldn't want to recommend to you any game that I don't enjoy myself. And those 50 plus plays, I mean, and they're just the ones I've registered. I haven't registered all the games I've played of this, but those 50 plus games of this mean that I love it, because that's up there with only a few of my games that I have that I've played over 50 times. And the reason why I've played it so much is just the way the game can catch you out. You can be swimmingly moving along, everything going absolutely fine. You then look at the next ingredient card of the list of customers and uh-oh, I am really in trouble here. The other thing that catches you out in this game is the co-op. That really increases the difficulty, and there's no alpha gamer in the co-op at all, because you're so busy concentrating on your own sandwiches, you can't possibly start telling your opponent what they should be doing. It's a fantastic game. I cannot speak highly enough of how much I love Crumbs, the sandwich filler game. I hope that it does really, really well in Kickstarter in August, and I'm sure it will. But even if it doesn't do amazingly, the amount of positive feedback I got at UK Games Expo shows me that this is going to be the kind of game that people are looking for. I was demonstrating this game to 5 or 6 people at one go at one point, and they were all engaged and really enjoying it. Almost every time I demonstrated the game to people, they were like, well, how much is it? When can I buy it? So that's a really, really great thing, that just after one demonstration of a game, people want to own this game. So that's my really brief review of Crumbs. I hope it's been informative. I hope you have taken everything I've said on face value, because it genuinely is my opinion that I love this game. And I hope that you back it in August, and I hope it does really, really well. And if you ever see me, ask me if I want a game, because I will have this in my back pocket or in my bag, and I would love to show you Crumbs, the sandwich filler game. Anyway, I've been Neil from Board Game Happy. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, greatly appreciated. Any comments, chuck them below and I will always get back to you. So thank you very much. Cheers.